Hello everyone, it's Victoria. Welcome to today's video. I've been trying to do something a little bit different ever since the beginning of the year. I've been really trying to use more products that I already have instead of just like searching for new products. And I am still trying to build my makeup collection, so I still want to go out and try new things. But I really want to try and use my products that I've already had, especially eyeshadow palettes. I'm like, I have so many colors. I want to go in and just experiment more with those and maybe create some fun looks with those. So that's kind of the intention of this video, is to use products that I already have, but I decided to put a spin off of it and just use products that I love. My favorite items, one that I've been reaching for consistently, even if it's just the last like few months or if it's the last few years. I grabbed a bunch of things that I really truly depend on and love. Get ready for these amazing items. There's a mix of drugstore and high-end, so it's gonna be a variety, but I'm excited. All of these just have worked so good. I do have oily combo skin, so I have a little bit of dryness, but it's mostly oily. So if you have dry skin, you might not like all of these products, but I hope you enjoy this video anyways. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start off with the eyes. So to start, I'm gonna use the Morphe primer. I've been using this one for a while, and I do really enjoy it. I'm gonna just take a little bit on my finger and just place that right onto the eyelid. This formula is definitely more on the like liquidy, almost like oilier side, but once it sets, it's definitely more matte. Really just helps the shadows to stay all day, and I really appreciate that. I love so many of Morphe's items. You'll be seeing more of them. All right, so now that that is set, I'm gonna go in with eyeshadows. We have two different palettes that we're going to use. I originally picked out two other ones, but then I looked at this one in my drawer and I was like, you know what? I love using that palette. I just went to Ulta with a friend yesterday and I was raving about this palette to her. I'm gonna use this one because I've had this for years and I keep going back to it. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. The blendability of these are just so good. It smells amazing. There's a variety of colors in here. There's mattes, there's sparkles. There's just so many things you can do with it. So this is definitely one that I can really depend on. I have traveled with this. It got smushed one time, but everything is safe and sound inside, thank goodness. For a newer one that I've been adoring is actually the Natasha Denona Mini Lila palette. I didn't hear the best things about the regular full-size Lila palette, but when I got this mini one, I actually really love it. The blendability is so good. It's so creamy, especially like, oh, this gold I just think is stunning. It looks so good on the lid, inner corner, like all of the things. So I really love this. I actually got this one only for $10. I couldn't believe that I got it for that cheap. I'm a deal girl, so if I can get something on sale, I'm like, yes, I will take it. So during the Rouge sale, this was only $12.50 on clearance, which it still is. You guys can still get it for that price, but I got it for $10 because I had the 20% off. The other two that I was going to use was the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1, as well as the Frozen 2, the Elsa palette. I travel with this. I love to take this with me. We just got back from a family game night a couple hours away, and I brought this with me. I just think the colors in here are so beautiful. I love this like lavender with the sparkles. That middle shade is just the perfect topper for any color. It's just so pretty. And then Tati's palette I just absolutely adore. The reason I didn't want to use these two is honestly just because I've been reaching for them so much lately that I wanted to go into something that I haven't been using, but I still like absolutely love and adore. That's why we decided to go with these two. So I'm gonna start first with just applying a super neutral shade all over the lid. You can tell that I really love this one because it's basically gone. I only have a little bit in the corners. This is the Peaches and Cream. It's a really pretty, just basic nude, so it's perfect just for laying down a really easy base. This stuff smells so good. I know I said I wanted to experiment with like something fun, but I think I'm gonna just do neutrals. Take the shade Georgia just so we can pop a little bit of brightness right in the crease. I don't think this is gonna show up too much just because it is such a light shade, but it'll still give just like a pretty pink that we can later kind of blend out a little bit more. That actually is giving like a really pretty, just a pink hue. That's perfect. Okay, now that we have that color down, I'm gonna grab one of my favorite brushes. This is the Scott Barnes 6'2" blending brush. so good. This was definitely a splurge last fall to get this, and I've just been loving it. So I'm gonna take the shade Puree, which is this really pretty caramely brown, and I'm gonna lay that right in the crease as well. I'm gonna build it out as well and kind of do like a V shape right outside the eye in the outer corner. I want to go back in with our first brush and just kind of blend out right up at the top. Now I want to move into the outer corner, and I think for that I want to go in with the shade Summer Yum, and that I'm going to place just right here on the outer corner. So I went in with that twice just to really deepen the color, but it is still pretty subtle, but I actually like it, so I'm gonna leave it. Next, I wanna switch over, I think, to the Natasha Denona. I'm just gonna take my finger for this one. Oh, that is so creepy. I'm gonna take my finger and just press it onto the eyelid, and then we're gonna go back in and blend it in a second. So stunning. I cannot get over her shades. I want to take, I think, just the Scott Barnes brush really quick and just kind of blend out on the crease a little bit. You don't have to do much because it's pretty well like gradiently blended into that. I do, however, want to take this brush. This, by the way, is the Morphe 507. Absolutely love it. I need to go and actually pick up another one of these because I just have to constantly wash this one because I use it almost every single day. I want to go back in with just a little bit. Just very lightly blend and intensify the corner just a smidge. I'm loving a little bit of that like warmer brown that we've got going on. This shade Luscious in the Too Faced palette, oh my gosh, it's just insane. Okay, that's all we're gonna do for the eyes for now. We still have to do the lower lashes, and I have something special I wanted to put on the inner corner, so we're gonna wait to do that until a little bit later. But we're gonna move into complexion. So to start with that, actually, I'm gonna take off my rings really quick. For complexion, I'm gonna use this one because this is one I've been reaching for so much lately. It's one I've used in the past. I've had this for years. As a matter of fact, I have a almost empty full-size one, and this is a sample that I got recently that I've just been going through so quickly. There's not too much left in here. I believe this one is their original. I like to put about, that's like a super tiny, I would say like a pea-size amount, but I think that's even smaller than a pea-size amount. But regardless, I put this on my fingers, spread it around just to warm it up a little bit, and then I massage that into the outer edges of my face. I like to put it on the forehead, go down the temples, massage it into the cheeks. We put some on the chin, then we go in and just kind of press it all in. Next up for primer is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This stuff is incredible. It's a super wet formula, so it's just so easy to work with. I like to take just a small amount of that as well. Also massage that into the fingers, and then with that I just go directly on the T-zone, mostly in the cheeks where I have larger pores. I build it up on the nose, really press it into the nose, go up the forehead, but mostly I like to stay where I just have my problem areas. So I'm gonna be super extra, and I actually like to triple prime. This is what I love to do on the days that I can, the days that I have time. If I don't have time, then often I'll just use a Poreless Putty Primer, or I'll use these two guys in combo. But I found that doing this last one just really helps to blur things. So this is the Tarte Smoothing Primer. Also with this, I definitely recommend just getting the mini one because it's actually a better deal. I think you save $1 by getting the mini size instead of getting just the full size. Weird, right? Also just super, super tiny amount, even less than the e.l.f. because you just don't need so much. And we're gonna just push that into the T-zone as well. Primers are all done. Next step is actually going to be concealer for me. I know a lot of you do foundation first, and that is fantastic. There's really no order that you need to go with things, and usually I do foundation first, but lately I've been using powder foundation, although we're not going to use powder foundation today, but I've been putting on my concealer first a lot lately, so that's what I honestly really want to do today. I'm going to use a mix of two concealers. This is the Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline and the Jeffree Star Concealer. I'm going to use the shade C3, which is too light for me, and then Light Pale in Maybelline, which is too dark for me. Really quickly, before we put on this concealer I have mixed on the back of my hand, I actually want to go in and just kind of remove some of the eyeshadow just to kind of help give my eye a little bit more shape. This is one of the things I love about doing eyeshadow before foundation is you can just go in and kind of make it look pretty if you mess up or go too far, which I frequently do. So absolutely love this technique. And now let's go into concealer, and this might surprise some people, but I'm actually going to just go in with my fingers. I've been really enjoying that lately, just using my fingers back down to the super basics, you know? You have so much control with your fingers, and I really, really love that. Oh, and I forgot to mention this, I just kind of started doing it, but I'm also gonna go down my nose and on my forehead with this. Basically all the places I would put concealer in the first place, and then we're gonna just do spot concealing after that, just to get any blemishes covered. Actually, I have been really loving to take a Blendiful lately and just kind of going over everything, pushing it into the skin just a little bit more, just to kind of really blend out those edges. All right, moving on to foundations. I had so many choices when it came to this, and to be completely honest, I have a really hard time deciding between the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation or the ColourPop Tinted Moisturizer. I honestly still am really not sure which one to use. I think I'm gonna go with the L'Oreal Infallible. The only downside to this foundation is that it's not quite my right shade. My neck and my face are a warm tone, but my chest has been so like splotchy and red lately that it's definitely more of a cool tone. It matches more of a cool tone. So I need to go back and get a different shade of this, but since I'm wearing a hoodie, it shouldn't matter that much. So I'm gonna just take 2 pumps on my little glass palette, dip straight into the Blendiful, and then we're going to just spot or just dab that around and blend it in. Wow, this just is so pretty. I just love this foundation. So much. So let's go ahead and set the face now. Again, with powders, I couldn't decide which one to use. I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty one just because I haven't used this one in a while, but I really, really love the Palladio rice powder so much. So we're gonna go with the Huda Beauty today, but just know that that is a top favorite as well. I'm gonna take the Mini Beautiful, the Mini Beautiful, oh that's pretty. Taking the Mini Blendiful, we're gonna dip into the Huda Beauty powder and go straight under the eye first, dragging it down in the T-zone where my pores are. Now before I do the forehead, I like to go in and just make sure all my wrinkles are blended out, filled in, all the things before going into powder, just so I can really set the wrinkles so they are less visible throughout the day. And now I'm gonna just go in with what's left over on the Baby Blendiful and just set all over the face. My lips have been so dry lately, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the foundation from my lips right now and just apply a lip balm really quick because I want to actually be able to wear some lipstick today, and I'm not gonna be able to if they're this dry still. If any of you guys know a good remedy to help with dry lips, I would love and so appreciate you if you could tell me what it is. I'm gonna wipe any extra powder away really quick because I just don't want it to set for too long. Okay, next up for me, I want to do blush next. So my favorite one, I've actually had a couple of favorites, but I decided to go with this one because I like that it's darker in pigmentation. So stunning. I just love it. So I put it on this big fluffy brush and we're just gonna work that on the cheekbones. Oh, while I'm thinking of it too, I feel like I need to say this more in the beginning of my videos, but if you haven't subscribed yet, I would absolutely love to have you guys join our family here on YouTube. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so there's always new content coming. If you guys have any ideas for anything that you would like to specifically see, I'm always down for ideas. I have so much fun with these videos. Ones like this especially, honestly, just like using products that I really love and sharing ones that I know are tried and true, so good. I think that's important. It's just like friend to friend being like, hey, I found this thing that's so cool and you should go check it out. It's awesome. that's kind of how I feel, especially when I do videos like this. It's just like, you want to share something you know is really good, you know? Let's go ahead and move into contour. I wanted to pull out this one because this one is one I've had for years and years. I actually got it after I saw Tati using it constantly on her channel. And this is the MAC Sculpt Contour Kit. Absolutely love it. I have used tons of like these two shades especially, but I often will use this darker one. Sometimes I'll go into the lighter one. I do really enjoy this. I don't so much use like these two shades, these top ones too much, but the yellow one, I really love that. But we're not going to use this because honestly, lately my routine has been to do either a cream contour and use this on top, or just use this in general. This is one of those things where it's like, you need this now. Like, go and get it because it's so good. It's just so good. We're gonna use this. I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush to do that. It is so pigmented and this is going to last probably like my whole life. I don't know. I do use it a lot, so maybe not, but it lasts a long time. So I'm gonna just do that right in the hollows of the cheek. We're gonna work it down on the chin, on the jawbone is what I meant to say. And we are also gonna work it up on the forehead in a second. I like to make sure to work it like farther in the back to really get it in the hairline so it blends a little better, because you definitely don't want it to be like brown and then like your foundation. You know, you definitely don't want that. You want it to be nice and blended, so I like to work it back. I'm so excited to show you guys the lip product we're using today. That is definitely one that I'm like, go get it. All of this stuff is just so good, but those especially, I'm just, you need them. Lately, something I've been doing that I feel so lazy about, but I like to just kind of squeeze the brush on the end and dip it in and kind of have that just be my nose contour, and I just work it down a little bit more lazily. When we get to more of the last step, actually, let's just grab it now. I like to take either this shade, this is what I usually would use for this step, the yellow one, that's why there's so much of it gone. So I would either use this, or lately, since I haven't been using this as often, I like to grab this guy right here. This is the NARS Pressed Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Flesh. It's actually too light for me, but I like to use this since it is a foundation. It kind of really helps cover up the pores a little bit more on my nose. So what I do is I grab my brush, and we're gonna dip into that. And I like to very lightly go like right down the center of my nose, because it brightens up the bridge and it accentuates more of what we did with the contour. Okay, so we are bronzed. I'm gonna put on just a smidge more blush. I like to go a little bit heavy on the blush, so I'm gonna put on just a little bit more. So now we can go ahead and finish up our eyes. What I want to do is go back into Natasha Denona, taking this really caramely shade. What is this called? This is called Flint. I'm going to take this really skinny brush that we used for the darker outer corner shade, and I'm going to, oops, this doesn't have a mirror. I was like holding it up like it had a mirror. Have you ever done that? Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm going to go in just right under the eye with Flint, and I'm going to blend it out just a little. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Let's go ahead and add some liner really fast. So I'm gonna do this off camera, but I did wanna show you guys the one I'm gonna use. This is the Smashbox Always On Liquid Liner. I'm gonna go do this really quick. I'm not the best with liners, so I really have to focus, so I'll be right back. So let's go ahead and do brows next. I'm not gonna do mascara quite yet. I've been super enjoying a couple products lately, one of which is like ultimate super inexpensive from the drugstore. This is more of a powder kit, although they do have a pencil in here too, which is so nice. This is the Profusion Brows 2 kit that has actually 2 different shades in here. I like using the shade Espresso. They have a highlighting powder that you can put under the brows, and the brow wax is awful. Like, don't use the brow wax, not into it. But as far as like the pencil, and then they also have a little brush in here, which I do like to use. It also came with tweezers, which I have lost, but I use this kit more often than not, probably actually more often than a lot of my other brow devices. So I'm gonna dip into the shade Espresso and just fill them out really quick, and then we're gonna move into another product. Okay, so the brows are filled in, and then what I like to do is use the Urban Decay Brow Endowed. I actually got a mini one. I pulled that one out too. I still am using this one because there's a little bit of product left in here, but I've had this for probably like a year and a half or so, and I've been loving it ever since. I go back and forth between using this one and a clear gel and like a bunch of other things, but I keep going back to this one, and especially if I do like a powder underneath, or even if I do like a really quick pencil job underneath, I will top it with this, and the coloring just seems to kind of mesh and blend so good. I like to use this after the setting spray though too, so I'm gonna wait just a bit to use this product. This one is my favorite, and I'm actually just realizing that it's almost gone. I'm gonna need to go and pick up another one. This is the Morphe Setting Mist. It's so nice. Gotta get out my fan. Oh, I didn't expect that to kind of work. I like to use that just to give moisture, but then I like to use the Urban Decay All Nighter, which I've loved for years and years. I have a spare of this already on hand for when this one runs out. So I'm gonna put this on just as a topper, really seal everything in and help it last a long time. Then going back in with the Blendiful. If I were to have used a beauty blender, I would do the same thing. I just like to go in and just kind of press everything into my skin, make sure it's all absorbed. Okay, so now we can put on mascara. Yay! My favorite combo lately, oh my gosh, Bad Gal Bang from Benefit. So good. But then the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, also so good. I actually accidentally bought the waterproof version of this, so I have that in my drawer. It was so discreetly packaged waterproof. A friend of mine were talking about that the other day because she also accidentally bought the waterproof one. Anyways, I felt kind of silly because I could not figure out why this mascara was not washing off my face as easily. I'm like, this formula is not good. It doesn't wash off. And then I realized it was waterproof. So we're gonna go in first with the Bad Gal Bang. There's actually not very much left in this. I probably should throw it away, but I like to use this to really lengthen my lashes. And I have to tell you guys something really quick that I'm actually like so embarrassed about. So a friend of mine and I, we bought a lash perm kit on Amazon about a couple months ago actually. January, like mid-January before I left on our cruise, she came over and we permed our lashes. So we did it ourselves at home, and it actually went really good. This eye was definitely curled more, but this eye looked so pretty, and they just were like, I had just curled them with a lash curler, and it was fantastic. Yesterday we permed them again, and you guys, I don't know what we did differently, but they're so curly. So curly. And it's kind of almost a little bit embarrassing. This one is so curly that it's touching my eyelid. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to put on mascara without getting it on my eyelid, so I have to be really careful. So I don't know, I might only be able to use a tiny bit of this. It's not gonna do what it normally does for me, and then this, I'm just gonna have to be so careful. I'm gonna do that off camera, and I'll show you guys zoomed in what I'm talking about. It's kind of embarrassing how curly this one actually is, but the kit works so good. I'll link it down below. It wasn't that hard, but we need to figure out what we did to make them curl so much this time, because it's too curly. Okay, mascara is on. I'm gonna finish up our makeup. Just wait till the end and I will show you guys the close-up of this lash. It's just like, you guys, it is just quite comical, but at least you know it works good. Let's move into the brow endowed. I'm first going to do the primer side. Sorry, there was a little hair. So I like to put that on first, work it into the little hairs. So I do like little back and forth motions, working my way back. I like a little bit of the more feathered look. Okay, and then we go ahead and switch to the colored side. This you have to be really careful because it can really easily transfer onto your skin. So I just really gently work this into the brows as well. And it is better to apply this when you, like right after you apply the primer. Otherwise it can get a little bit dry. So that's with the brow endowed. Do you see how like feathered it is? It's like combed back basically, and this is still running wild. The featheredness is done. I'm gonna take this Jeffree Star concealer in the shade C3 just on the back of my hand. We're gonna do this just a tiny bit under the brows, just really careful, right underneath them. Perfect. So it just kind of lightened it up a little bit, exactly what I wanted. Perfect. So brows are officially done. Let's move on to, let's see, should we do lips or highlighter? Let's go ahead and do lips next. Okay, so this is a product I have been just so excited to share with you guys. If you don't have this in your collection yet, like out of all of the things I'm showing you today, I recommend these the most, and they're so affordable, which is so nice. That is the ColourPop lip products. So I have 2 of their Lippie pencils in my collection, and then 2 of their Lippie sticks. I got the shades that match each other the best. So I have BFF, which was so hard to find. Oh my gosh. That matches super good with the Cookie Lippie pencil. And then these 2 are actually the same. So this is the shade Oh Snap in both the pencil and the lipstick. Just so good. I think I'm gonna use the nude one just because I do have a red sweater on and I don't feel like a more warm tone nude is gonna match as well with that. So we're gonna put this on. It just blends so nice. It is the creamiest thing and it is so hard to talk and do this at the same time. A little tip really quick for the top lips I learned recently is that to not go into the inner corner. And it helps to create a more pouty look. So instead of taking this and going all the way down, just like kind of like connecting the lines, so like here, just like going straight down, instead start out a little bit. So start here instead of in there, and it'll create more of like a pouty lip. And I actually have really been loving it. I've been liking wearing lipstick more just because of that. And then this is super moisturizing. So we're gonna put that right on top of it. This is actually a little bit more warm tone than the pencil. It is so perfect. So a little bit more cool, that's a little bit more warm. And I have to say, they match each other so good. And the reason that I love these, specifically these 2 shades the most, is you can put this on and the pencil lasts such a long time, which is amazing. But when you're eating especially, it doesn't, like, it does come off on the food and like on cups and stuff like that. But as far as how it wears off, it's like it blurs away. There has yet to be a time, and I've been wearing these for a couple weeks now, whenever I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, whoa, it kind of like, I still feel like I'm wearing lipstick. And then even still, like as it wears off, it just kind of disappears. And it's not a big deal because it blends in with your lips so good. Am I even making sense? It's just really wonderful. You guys should go and try these. I would definitely start off with the more warm nude. That's the one I started off with. I'll list both of these down below. You can order them straight from ColourPop. That would be the easiest thing. But if you want to go swatch them and test them out, Ulta does have them too. Speaking of lip liners, there's this brand you guys have heard me talk about a lot. It's called Palladio. You can get this stuff on Amazon. I think this is an overseas brand because I've only ever seen them once in person, and that was on our cruise ship. So this is Palladio Beauty. Their lip gloss, so good. I actually like it better than the Fenty gloss, not gonna lie, and it's only $5. I'll link some of my favorite products of theirs in the description, but this one is one of them. This is a lip liner. It's actually a waterproof lip liner, which makes more sense as to why I really like it for this purpose I'm gonna tell you. This is such a good product for a waterline, just to give your eyes more of like a sultry look. I also really love to do a nude, and that just like brightens up your eyes. It's just like pop. But this is so inexpensive and it just works so good. You can use it as a lip liner, but this shade is just way too dark for me. You could also use this as like a brown eyeliner, and I bet it would work so good. I use this more exclusively for the waterline just because it's so close to my eyes. I don't want to mix it with lip products and stuff, so this is exclusively a waterline product. I don't know what it is. I just love how it kind of just blends. I feel like it makes my eyes pop almost a little bit more. For certain looks, especially if I go more like nude vibes, I love to put this in the waterline. It just makes me feel almost like more sexy. It's fun. Our next product, this is one I got as a sample, and I'm pretty sure this is fairly expensive. So if Sephora ever offers this as like a deluxe sample or something, take it. It's just so good, and I've been using this for a long time and I am nowhere near running out. This is the Artist Couture Coco Bling Diamond Glow Powder. There's so much in this little guy, you guys. It's insane, but it's so pigmented, so I like to use it in my inner corner to give just a beautiful pop. So that's what I wanted to use it for today. That's why I was like leaving my inner corner blank. And I like to build it up a little bit. This helps to brighten the eyes just a smidge. And then we can also put a little bit under the brow bone, which is just, oh my goodness, popping. Also looks really pretty just all over the lid. If you ever want a super lazy day, you could pop some of this on your finger. It's insane. Let's go ahead and put a little bit on as a highlight really quick. A little bit too much, but we're gonna roll with it. Oh my goodness. I'm a new person. Okay, so we'll do our last step really quick with the complexion, and then we'll do gloss, and then I think we're just about done. For our last step, you can use 2 different products for this. I've actually learned both of them are amazing. My favorite one that I've talked about many times, this is the Magical Makeup Forever Loose Ultra HD Loose Translucent Powder. I've used this for years and years, probably coming up on 4 years now, I wanna say. I keep mine in this little glass jar, so if you ever see me reach in here, you know that that's what that is. I'm gonna take this fluffy brush and just go into that, tap it off because you only need a little bit. And I like to work that right on the T-zone because it blurs everything so good. And up here on the forehead, right here on the chin, and just right down the nose, and that's it. That's all that I do. Don't put it on your eyes, especially because it does create flashback. This product is newer to me. This is the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. It has a very similar consistency to the Makeup Forever. Super, super fine, blurs, so good. I really enjoy this one as well. So if this is a little too high on the price range for you, because this is definitely more expensive than this one, then just get this one. So it will basically do about the same thing. So this is definitely super amazing, unless you don't like coconut, because this definitely has a coconutty scent. Now for gloss. Ooh, yes. I'm gonna use this one. This is from Palladio. I have 2 different glosses from Palladio, Pink Candy, and I think this one is Vanilla Cupcake. Yes, this is Vanilla Cupcake. Usually these glosses have like a little stopper, so when you pull out the product, you only get a little bit on the wand. I decided, I was like, hey, you know what? I always feel like I have to dip back into that tons of times to get the like amount that I want on my lips. Why not just take it off, and so then I can get as much as you want? Which that was such a mistake because now I have to be careful. It like gloops out. Yeah, don't take off that protective stopper thing because you will just get way too much on your lips. But this is like liquid frosting. It's amazing. This is so nice. Okay, so I just put on a little bit, and then I'm just gonna take my finger and blend that out. Isn't that just like stunning? $5 and it tastes so good. That I think was everything. That was all my favorites as of right now. Wow, oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are all so amazing. I appreciate every single one of you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified when I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I really hope you guys are having just a fantastic day, and I hope you get to try out one of these and experience them from yourselves or for yourselves, and let me know what you think because I always would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. I also want to show you guys my lashes so you can see that. Isn't it just so curly? Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for it to grow out. And then my friend and I were joking. She texted me and I died laughing when she said this. She's like, what if they grow out like more straight, but then the other ones are still super curly? So then it's just like this wonky, straight, curly thing. That just would be so embarrassing. Oh my gosh.